one of my great accomplishments was really fishing with President Bush. Ray Scott put on a deal to raise money to build his church right here. 4 years, we raised over $1 million to build a church, and the president came down to help us raise money, and I was lucky enough to fish with him. I took a hook out of him. I was the only person to ever take a hook out of the president that was not a surgeon. The surgeon was behind me, following me, but I knew if she got a hold of him, she'd have tucked him down to Montgomery, Alabama, to the hospital. My fishing would have been over for the day. I said, I can get that hook out. He said, man, let's go for it. Well, they're all filming everything, and I get the line out. I said, I'm gonna count to 3. I said, 1, and I jerked it out when I said 2. He said a few words. She thought, damn, how'd you do that? So we were sort of come friends because I took it out of him. We had a good tournament. I know we maybe finished 3rd in the tournament. He could only weigh 1 fish in, and then I had to weigh the rest of them in. But it was a heck of an experience because all the security they did, all the people they had with machine guns down there surrounded, even to get in. My wife had to be checked out, her social security and everything, before they even let her come. But that afternoon, he said, where's the madam? I said, she's right here. He said, come on, I'm gonna take you a tour on Air Force One. And I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, come on. We rode 65 miles on Interstate 65. All the roads was blocked to the airport. Got out, he took us a tour of Air Force One. He let my wife, he was supposed to take no pictures. He let my wife take pictures of Air Force One, and he sent us all these pictures. And one of them I like right here says, to Guy Eaker by Surgeon George Bush. So, you know, that was something big. Here was Guy Eaker from a little town of Cherryville get to fish with the President of the United States. Then later on, I think it was about a year or so later, he invited me and my wife to the Grand Ole Opry for his 50th wedding anniversary. So we got to go up there and dine and wine, had a great time, and real nice guy. And I fished with his son, and he broke 2 of my rods, and we was talking about, he said, I'll pay for them rods. I said, man, they give me them rods, don't worry about it. I said, well, I'm big with Nolan Ryan. I said, I'd like to have a ball with his name on it. He said, you got it? So I got it in the trophy case over there. 3 days, it was my house. Heck of experience, really had a good time, great people, and me and my wife, it's just unbelievable to get to, you know, to be around and actually fish with the President of the United States. My first tournament I won was in Sam Rayburn in the BAS this tournament. When I come home, my wife had this picture on the front door for me. This is one of my trophy case with some of the most expensive things I have, and something I really don't never probably get rid of. I don't know what'll ever happen to it, but that's the ball right there with Nolan Ryan's name on it. Last time I looked a couple of years ago, that ball was already worth $1,000. But all these balls, this ball right here, 1953, when the American Legion went to the World's Championship, I got that ball from all the players with the name on it. These 2 gold reels right here, I went to Sweden and shot a commercial for Abu Garcia. They gave me 2 gold plated reels for coming over here, and that was something real big. All this right here is something really big as far as, you know, that was in all the magazines back there, a picture of me and the reel, the new reel they came out with, and I think it was in the 70s. But a lot of old stuff. Right here, this guy right here, I need to get this out and show you. That was the Big O. That was the most expensive lure right there that you could buy at one time. I see that thing right there sell for $1,200 on the market. Well, I knew this guy real good. He made one for me and gave it to me and numbered it. So it's really a collector's item. And another one I've got, this guy right here made this one. He was another big, this is back years and years ago, great bait though, catch a lot of fish on. It's called a Mike E-Step bait. And he had one of the better crankbaits ever made. And he sent me this and put my name on it, Guy, and numbered it 352. So again, it's a collector's item. I never did throw it, I just put it up. But I could go on and on and on and tell you about, and this is the tournament I won in, Sam Raven. That's the lure I wanted on right there. A red rattle trap, 1994. That was the first BASS tournament I won, but I won one in American Bass on National Beat Dave Glebe at Seminole in 1977, and I won the Angler of the Year that year in American Bass. But it's still a good bait, catches a lot of fish. And I could go on forever. This is, they told me in Sweden, they gave me this. You don't feel how heavy that thing is. This is, when you walk in the door, they got one about 6 foot high, like this right here. They gave me this one. Except if I ever won the classic, they're gonna ship me the bigger one to my own house. It's like some kind of bear or something over there that go by. But that was sort of a new deal, Abu Garcia deal. But again, a lot of memories. I had something right here. Here it is. I want to show you this. President Bush also gave me this right here for being so nice to him, taking the hook out of him. This is one of a kind. Not one of them made out of silver. Got the president's seal on it. So one day, Guy Jr. and Carl were selling it. They'll get a lot of money. But it's a special deal. I got a letter with it, being the only one made in the United States. Used to be a tournament in North Carolina called, in South Carolina and Alabama called the Hungry Fisherman. First year I fished it was 1980, and I won the Angler of the Year with it. Over here's another picture, trophy, 1977. I won the American Bass Angler of the Year. That's the way I got to go to Cuba and fished in Cuba, because I won the Angler of the Year. I also won a tournament in 1977, beat Dave Glebe by 3 ounces, and that's it right there. Got all kind of stuff from Cuba that they give me down there. A lot of people don't know this and never seen them, but 2 years in a row, BASF gave boxes out, and instead of giving you a trophy, they give you buckles, silver and gold buckles, the way you finish. So I thought that's pretty nice. And this is some of the fish I've caught. I caught this one, the biggest fish I ever caught was a 14-1. I caught it in California at the Delta. And I caught a 13 in California 3 years before that. And I caught another 13 in Mexico. Never caught, I think I'd ever catch a fish with 13 pounds. But that fish I thought was a big striper, because the Delta has a lot of salt water that comes in it. And I'd caught a striper there a couple of years before, weighed 20 pounds on a spinnerbait. And that's what I thought. I had somebody follow me when I caught that fish. They see me catch it. And then they said, man, that's how big I said, well, weigh it. They said, weighed 14-1. I said, that fish is bigger than that. I weighed it, weighed 14-1. They said, what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna get the measurements off of it. I said, I'm gonna let y'all catch it. So I sent it to a guy in Sarasota, a friend of mine, and he made me a replica of it. Then this guy here, he wanted to make the only string mount that anybody had ever seen on a birch board, and he wanted 6 pounders and up. I ended up in 1 year catching from 9 up to 10, 14. I won 2 boats on these 2 fish right here in Florida. But after he hauled it around for a year, he gave it to me. Guys, U.S. haul. All these fish were caught in 1975. Every one of them. Caught me 1 year. One of the first international tournaments I held on Amazon, I was lucky enough to get invited. 10 pros got to go down there and fish for the first international tournament, catch a peacock bass. Well, a guy from Florida I met years ago said, I got the lure to win the tournament for me if you'll tell me you caught it on. I said, if I catch them on it, I'll tell him. So I caught big fish every day, won the tournament, went up to Amazon 200 miles, 50, well, I think we went like 50 miles every night on 2 boats. All the guys, the little boats would be on one, we'd be on the other. My biggest fish, I caught them from 16 up to almost 20 pounds. Most vicious fish I've ever caught in my life, all on top water. This is the bait I caught them on right here. called a high roller, made in Florida. Makes a lot of noise when you pull it. But one of probably the most exciting fish I've ever caught in my life. I went back one time and made a TV show, and we caught them again, right at up to 18 pounds. But it's hot every morning at 9 o'clock. My shoes was full of water from sweating because you're on the equator, and that water is the clearest water in the world. I mean, it's just like drinking water. And I didn't know much about it. I went down, but the mouth of the Amazon, a river now, is 180 miles long, the mouth of it. And it runs 3,000 miles back in Brazil. But seen a lot of stuff, monkeys, crocodiles. I had a machete cut my way back in the lagoon one day. There's a 20-foot anaconda slid by my head off into the water, and we never could find it. It's so much mulch down there, they bury up. But real excited. As far as fishing, I've got to do a lot of things and travel all over the United States and the world. Stuff I never got to do if I wasn't bass fishing. I've been fishing the circuit for 45 years. That's American Bass and BASS. And not many people get to do what I do, is do something you love to do and make a living doing it. Good Lord has blessed me, and I'll be 80 years old here in a couple months. As long as good Lord lets me do it, I'm gonna keep doing it. Over the years, this is all the clothes that I've accumulated over the years in circuits, for like 45 years. It used to be nothing but patches. At one time, we all wore jumpsuits. A lot of guys want me to wear that jumpsuit, the classic one here, just to show everybody with patches all over it. I got one jacket in here somewhere. It's got 54 patches on it, a red jacket. And but this is all the clothes. I've given away all the clothes. Some of this clothes has never, this jacket right here has never been worn. But some way, somehow, somebody one day will get the use out of it. All my pants, I used to wear bell-bottom pants with bagley on each side, and that was the deal back in the 70s, the early 80s. But all these pants down here, then all this is mounts. I probably got I'm gonna say maybe 1,000 mounts. All these are full mounts. And then this here, I got this guy involved with this. This is one of the first fishing cards ever made, and I helped the guy get all the fish to sign a contract, and he sold them for about 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. I think this was 1994, and I think that's $4.95 for those few cards. They also got a whole deck like a card. I got a bunch of them upstairs, a drawer full of them. But it should have went. A lot of things happened that shouldn't have happened. He could have made a lot of money on this if he'd have won. He was a sports writer, had a lot of pressure on him. He had to take it off the market. You know, a lot of people talk about a chatterbait. Well, I had the first chatterbait. It was called an Eaker shaker. It was ever made in the world. Eagle Claws sold millions of them for 3 years. And then another guy came up with this idea. We had a patent on the blade. We had a patent on the clip. They act like they was the one that come out with it. And at one time, the lawyer told me, he said, let them keep selling. He said, you can own them if you want to. He said, they infringed on your patent, and you've not done anything to their patent because you had the first one. But I used that bait for many, many years, caught a lot of fish on it. And you can see, you can attach little bitty jig heads, anything, even saltwater baits, like eels and stuff. But the reason it never went on the market, they didn't want to buy our pressers. They wanted like us almost to give them to them. We wouldn't give them to them, so it never come out. Again, we sold them for 3 years.